And then it all made sense, and I finally could figure out what he was talking about.
Petscop is a game developed by Garalina for the PlayStation 1 in the late 90s. Just kidding. Petscop is a web series about the fictional game Petscop. It's honestly one of my favorites, and I don't know, it's kind of unique. It's a series about someone playing a PlayStation 1 game that they had as a kid that is kind of weird. It starts off simple enough, but very quickly it devolves into something a lot more mysterious and cryptic. And I know at first blush, that sounds a little maybe cliche, little creepypasta-esque, but I assure you it's nothing like that at all. It's filled with very interesting characters and topics and themes, and also just a very spot on aesthetic. It's very immersive and it really pulls me into looking into it. And I could spend time talking about all the themes and my favorite characters and all that stuff, but instead, I think we're going to talk about how if Petscop was like an actual game that could actually be played by actual people, it would be a really bad game. And I don't think people, it'd be bad. It'd be a lousy game. I got this idea from reading the FAQ for GiftScop, a fan recreation of Petscop that can actually be played by people. It has the goal of being as authentic to the source material as it can be, and to quote the site, to give you the quote that gave me this idea, "Our goal is to recreate Petscop as it appears in the original series, including the parts that are boring or frustrating. Whether this results in a project that is fun to play is not something we consider because it is relevant to our goal." Boring or frustrating. See, that stood out as kind of funny to me, because who wants to play a video game that's boring or frustrating? Because as a video game, Petscop is boring or frustrating. It's filled with hostile game design. I don't know if that's like an actual term used in game design, but I'm going to use it because Petscop is filled with it. It's so cryptic and unintuitive in like how it wants the player to figure things out. Like just the vaguest of hints that without context would not make sense. Like one example is there's a room where the player would have to stand around for 10 minutes while mostly nothing happens for something to happen, like stuff like that. And this is not a critique of Petscop as a series or as creator or anything else, because this bad game design aids in the story that Petscop is telling. Like those really vague hints make sense to the protagonist Paul, who's the one that's playing the game now, and those vague hints make sense to Paul, or in some way they connect, right? So again, this bad game design is there on purpose. It's just like if this was a normal game that could be bought on like Steam or itch.io, I think people would have a miserable time with it. I mean, look at Paul, the person in the series playing the game. Like, he's invested.
Sorry for not talking very much. I'm a little bewildered, if you want to know the truth. This is a little more than I was expecting to see.
But I don't think he's having a fun time. I think Paul would agree. This game is not fun. I think it's an interesting statement. What if a video game wasn't fun? Because inherently that's kind of contradicting itself, right? Like, I feel like people expect a video game to be fun at the baseline level. I don't think fun is like the best word to use to describe that. I think, well, so there's this game called A Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk. It's a visual novel with creepy aesthetics and some really dark themes. It's really cool, fantastic, but I wouldn't use the word fun to describe it, but I'm enjoying the time with it. So I think what people expect from a video game isn't necessarily that it is fun, but it is enjoyable. So I think the statement should be, instead of what if a video game wasn't fun, instead it should be, what if a video game wasn't enjoyable? And I'm going to ponder that and explore that idea. I think that was a good take. I hope it was a good take. I'm going to assume that was a good take.
It's still an idea that's contradicting, but I wanted to get us all on the same page. Now, obviously the biggest risk with making a video game that's not enjoyable is that it's unenjoyable. Like, how does someone make a game where the pitch is, do you want to have a bad time, and make that the selling point?
Undertale explores this concept pretty well, actually. I would say that normally Undertale is usually a pretty fun and who's calling me? I would say that normally Undertale is usually a pretty fun and entertaining game. It has emotional and intense parts for sure, but I would say overall the journey is pleasant to go on. But when going for the worst ending the game has, Undertale becomes this absolutely dreary, miserable slog.
A few things, though. Undertale's worst ending is not something someone is going to accidentally stumble upon. It's an out-of-the-way ending that takes intent to make happen, so it's not likely to happen unless someone wants to make it happen. And the only reason someone is going to want to make it happen is to see how this world can be broken down in the worst way possible, because Undertale typically it presents itself as good, as fun, as vibrant. The bad ending that is the dreary, miserable slog is the allure, since it contrasts so heavily with how much of a good time Undertale normally is. Having a bad time becomes the appeal. But the reason why I really think Undertale explores this concept of what if a game wasn't enjoyable so well is because the game doesn't have to be played like that at all. I've never done that. I have no desire to do that either. But the existence of that bad ending, just by being there, does kind of enhance the rest of the game, even if it's never touched. And the fact that, I don't know, the way it does it, like, this is a bad way to play the game. This is a bad time, and it is your fault. It is that way. That's good. But once again, that's not the primary way Undertale is played. So, Undertale is usually a enjoyable game that the player has to make
enjoyable.
Petscop is naturally mostly
enjoyable.
There's moments of
enjoyability
in there, sure, but overall, it's not what the majority of Petscop is. I cannot make the thumbnail and speak at the same time. That is not a skill. I thought I could do it. I can't.
For kicks and grins, I started playing GIFSCOP for this video to get a better feel on how Petscop would probably play like, and within the first 10 minutes, I got soft locked. Twice. Like, it's kind of my fault since I should know the solution from watching the series, but it's also such a beginner's trap that anyone could fall for it, not to mention it's the first quote-unquote puzzle. By quotes there, it's a puzzle. Why is it quotes there? Outside of that, everything else was fine. Puzzles made sense, the music was nice, some unnerving wording, but vibes were fine. Then we get here, this endless field of mostly nothingness. You want to see how long it takes to bump into something? You want to see? You want to see? I'm going to wander in a random direction until something happens. I'm going to keep it in real time. I'm not going to speed up the footage. I'm not going to edit it. Here it is. I lied. There's mostly nothing out here. It's like 5 buildings and some road with the vaguest of hints on where to go and no hints on where to start. And if not for the walkthrough, no way I'd make any progress. This feels infinite, by the way. Like, literally, could wander in a direction for hours. Nothing happens. Imagine if a new Mario game did that. People would riot. I would laugh, but people would riot. It's so nice out today. All the birds are chirping. Anyways, this is not a critique of Petscop once again. You know, all this like obtuse and kind of clunky game design is to better aid in the storytelling. You know, it's there in the service of the story that Petscop is telling. I'm just playing the fun hypothetical game of pretending that Petscop is just a normal regular game that people could play. Or should I say unfun hypothetical, because this is not a fun game to play. No. Having to wait 10 minutes in a room with just the sound of like rocks grinding against each other for 10 minutes for something to happen, I don't think that's very fun. I don't think other people would find that fun. The idea of someone playing Petscop and enjoying it is like bonkers to me. Like, no one would do that. Well, maybe they could actually. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, but with one very important caveat. Like, even if Petscop was a normal retail product that someone could purchase, maybe Petscop would still find enjoyment. Conventionally, no. The idea of someone playing Petscop by themselves and having an enjoyable time has to be a slim demographic. However, that person playing the game individually and then talking among people that are also playing the game, then communally trying to figure it out, that's something. Is communally a word? I don't know. I'm not looking it up.
Alright, so, this is just to, prove to you that I'm not lying about this game that I found. I'm just gonna walk you through everything that I've seen so far. And, obviously it'll be exactly as I described it, because this is it.
I mean, that's pretty much how Petscop was engaged with as it was going on, you know? Just people watching this obtuse game play out and then working together to try and make sense of it all. And that's such a unique way of engaging with media, right? Like, that's not a thing that could have happened in like 1995. This is like an internet thing, and I've said like 4 times in a row. I'm not doing another take. I like that take I just did. It's the internet that makes this kind of engagement possible. If Petscop had somehow managed to launch in 1995, I can't imagine anyone giving a hoot about it, right? But online, where a small or large following can be cultivated and they can talk amongst themselves and stir up intrigue, that's kind of a really cool way of engaging with something, right? It's a very new way of engaging with something. Petscop isn't the only thing to do this. There's a game for the PlayStation 2 called Siren that I think tried something similar, where it was really cryptic and obtuse, and the idea was that players would work together to solve it by talking to each other through like forums or something. Really cool idea, but this was 2000, so kind of too early for that to really take effect. But now with how large the internet is now, super doable. In fact, ARGs, alternate reality games, really benefit from this type of large-scale, community-driven engagement. That's such a unique way of engaging with media. Even if Petscop wasn't a series but was released as like a standalone game today, if it got that audience, I think it could still be enjoyed in this aspect. People just working together to figure it out. And data miners ruining the whole thing for everyone. That's my hot take. How do you like that? Boy. Hi. I'm using the webcam to finish this video off. I've had this video sitting for a bit now, and I've been struggling a bit on how to finish it. Here's the thing. I've thought like maybe I should end this video on really talking about the communal aspects of Petscop and why that's a cool thing and why the internet makes that a cool thing, and that probably would be a decent ending. I believe that, but I don't know. It doesn't really feel like me. Like, it does and doesn't. Like, I don't feel like I've, tied that personal link between Petscop and me enough, and maybe because it's not that deep. Maybe I just really enjoy Petscop. I think it's really fascinating and cool. I think it's fantastic, but it just doesn't go deeper than that. Like, I don't have that special weird connection to it that I do with like some other things. But I don't think that's fair. It's still like one of my favorites, just because I don't have like an emotional bond to it. That's fine. I really like that Petscop is this weirdo series that is mysterious and obtuse and doesn't always make sense, but in a way that I kind of like, because I like it when things are kind of cryptic and obtuse. But I did want to talk about Petscop, so part of me feels like, did I try to find something to talk about, this whole unenjoyable game? But that's fair. And I think that's valid. I think it's a valid thing to talk about. So to wrap it up, I think Petscop is really cool. I think that it being this really obtuse and clunky game makes it better in a way that often doesn't get to be experienced in games or really anything. I think that element is what made me enjoy it more
Compared to if Petscop had just been a game that was released and I played it on my own, I probably would only have like a passing interest in it. But getting to watch it unfold let me experience a bad game in the most enjoyable way possible. So that's why I like Petscop, and that's why I think it has a really clever answer to what if a game was unenjoyable? Simple. Don't let someone play the game.
So I'm kind of scared to, I want to keep the console on until I figure this out. The situation is that I cannot open this door. I probably can open the door, but I don't know what to do. So I thought I would just slip this in at the end. If you think you saw something that might provide a clue, please let me know. Alright, that's it.
Would you believe me if I told you the stupid camera wasn't recording this stinky webcam that I thought I would use for the ending? Oh. It's dumb. It's so dumb. Oh, I'm not re-recording that.